How'd the meditations go? Everybody able to sit 5 or 6 days? Okay, great. So last week there were a couple of questions, and I don't know which ones Claudia asked, but I'm going to answer them anyway because she will listen, I think, to the recording. So she asked me about Shani. I said a little by little and how to spell it. So this is the transliteration from its Sanskrit, and so to give you the pronunciation, it's Shani. The Sanskrit way to say it is this S makes that SH sound. So it's Shani. And what it really means is slowly. So the other thing that we talked a little bit about was the Dharmakaya, the wisdom body, because I wasn't sure about some names and so forth. So I wanted to let you know that the wisdom body is made up of 2 parts. Part A is the Svabhavakaya in Sanskrit. This is not on this homework, but personally, do I have a pen? I still need to hear more teachings on the different bodies of the Buddha because
Me too.
Thank you. Because I need to learn them better because I had to look all this up. So and that's Sanskrit, and that is a dead pen.
It's empty.
It's empty. Yeah, the pen is empty. But is it a chew toy?
Yes,
Depends on your point of view.
It does.
all those things.
Isn't that a Sharpie or is that a Expo?
That's a Sharpie.
Dry erase?
Crayola?
It says dry erase.
Bonnie?
Might be dry.
She's got one.
Oh, I got.
You okay?
Yeah, got one. Works great. So the Tibetan for the what makes up the wisdom body, and now is Nago Wa Ni cool. The Tibetan for it. And this is directly from the notes from class 5, I believe. That the Svabhavakaya is, the first of the 2, and that it's the essence body, the emptiness of the other 3 bodies of a Buddha, and it's the ultimate nature of the Buddha, his emptiness. And it has 2 parts. So these are, don't have don't have the foreign words for it. They are the emptiness of his mind, which is the emptiness he's always had, even when he was a so-so Kewo, which is a plain person like us. And the second part are his cessations, the end of his bad habits, and the end of his ignorance. So, the second part of the Dharmakaya, going back out, so you have the Dharmakaya, you have the Svabhavakaya, you have two parts to that I just gave you, and then you have the second part of the Dharmakaya, which is the Yeshu Chukul in Tibetan. And the Jnana Dharmakaya. And that is spelled, that's one letter in Sanskrit and spelled Jnya. Or no, it's pronounced Jnya. So it's Jnanakaya. No, Jnana Dharmakaya. So that is, it's the omniscient mind of a Buddha, which is the Buddha's ability to see all things. So on the essence body, it's something you realize after you've seen emptiness directly, which makes you an arhat, A-R-H-A-T. Excuse me. Erase that, I'm sorry. It makes you an Arya, A-R-Y-A, Arya. And there are two primary divisions of living beings. There are the Soso Kewos, yep, and then there's the Pakpas. It's a very sad looking one, okay. And this is the Arya. And this is the ordinary being. So it's the difference between those who have seen emptiness directly and those who have not, and that's the division between the two types of beings. And when you do see emptiness directly, there are certain things that you as an Arya will know afterwards. And I just thought I would breeze through these really quickly too, as a kind of either a little intro or a review, depending on what you've studied before. So the first thing is the Arya truth, known after the direct perception, well, and which is what I just said, the direct perception of ultimate reality or emptiness. The first of this set of three is that you realize that you've seen the Buddha directly, and you've seen his essence body, his emptiness, which is his main body. The second thing you see is you see your future Buddhahood and know how many future lives you're going to have before enlightenment. The third is you know that when you become a Buddha, you won't be called Craig or Kevin or Bob or Diana or Bonnie or Janet. That ego and that individuality will be gone. That perceived individuality. And then the other truths that you realize are the Arya truth of suffering. And that is that you know the date of your death, and for the first time you truly understand that death is real. You truly have that correct perception. And for the rest of the day, you can read suffering beings' minds and read them directly, and you can see and hear their thoughts and mental afflictions. So it's like a little taste of omniscience that you get for the rest of, according to Geshe Michael Roach, the rest of that day. And it's called subsequent wisdom. All of this is called subsequent wisdom after you become an Arya. So the truth of the cause of suffering, those are, you understand that you have no previous correct perception. You've had not one previous correct perception in your entire life or lives. You understand that you've never undertaken any action at all that was, completely noble and pure, and that wasn't aimed at getting something for yourself, kind of a quid pro quo, something for something. You've never done it, but you see that, you see the difference. The third is the Arya truth of cessation of suffering. So you realize that you've seen, bear with me a minute. All right. I got the wrong stuff here. The Arya truth of the path to the cessation of suffering is that you have a clear, strong sensation of bodhicitta. You feel an energy like light coming from your heart. And you realize that you'll spend the rest of your life with the bodhicitta aim, serving other people, other beings. You also understand the need to prostrate. And when you get up from your meditation, you actually prostrate. After your meditation, you throw yourself to the floor and do prostrations out of awe, is how he describes it. And after the DPE, you make for the first time in your life an actual offering, a real offering. You spend every last cent you have to get it. You don't care if anybody knows about it. You offer a diamond because you understand that the meaning of the diamond is it's that the meaning of the diamond is a metaphor for emptiness, and the diamond is the only thing that comes close to what it was that you saw in the DPE. Its clarity and its beauty. You also understand that images of the Buddha are really those images of what people have seen in the past. So all these tankas are meant to be things that were seen by holy high practitioners in the past, And so the Tibetan tradition is to not change them at all. So that's why you see similar images, very, very similar. They're mostly depicted in just certain ways. Because it's a lineage thing that the painters are taught over many, many years as apprentices on how to do it. Buddhist images aren't allowed to be changed because it is actually someone's perception that they're illustrating. So you also understand that all the books of Buddhism are true. And enlightenment is really possible. You know that Buddhism is the true religion, that emptiness is true, and that if you perceive emptiness, you will become enlightened. So you have perceived emptiness and you realize that you will become enlightened truly.
Could you repeat that under?
Which one?
All the books of Buddhism are true. Buddha is the true religion.
No, I said Buddhism is the true religion.
Buddhism, right?
These are notes from the reading.
Did I miss one in between? I missed the one after true.
Okay.
Can we think true philosophy?
No, that's not. I'm giving you what Geshe Michael said. I mean, if that's how you want to interpret it, it's fine.
Yeah.
You understand that all the books of Buddhism are true, and enlightenment is real and possible. You must preserve those books because they contain the information that people need to become enlightened. So it's a big responsibility that we care for our books. We don't put them on the ground, and we, if your aim is to spread the Dharma, then you want to make sure that the books are available to do so. So the last one that he gives is that you're not crazy. Even though you've had this experience, you have the perception that everything you're seeing that day is true, and that it's in Tibetan, it's Sema. Which is a word that Geshe Michael uses a number of times in the classes, Sema, and in Sanskrit it's Pramana. So those are some good reasons to be aiming for what we're aiming for the direct perception of emptiness, that we can have that perception, and then we can know all these things and basically have more fuel for your faith, because we have, if we're practicing, we have faith that things are going to come about as we're taught. So, Shanai Shanai, that's how we reach enlightenment, little by little. So the title of the class today is The Need for Joyful Effort. So we're going to go over the reasons that we need it, and more ways to bolster it. So joyful effort, this is the last class we're going to be doing on this perfection. It's having fun doing good. So this is what we want to do in our spiritual practice, is to incorporate joyful efforts so that we can be happy while we're doing it in order to achieve perfect happiness. So name some spiritual practices. Anybody name any kind of parts of your practice, different things that you do?
Offering.
Mm-hmm.
Meditation. Mala.
What was the last one?
Doing the malas.
So praying.
Saying mantras is probably the same thing.
Yeah. Okay, what else?
Frustrations too.
Frustrations? Cool.
Dedication?
Yep. It's funny, I made a list and none of these are on it.
Kidding.
Practicing the 4 R's.
So the 4 forces?
Yeah.
Cool.
Doing the book.
Doing the book.
Yeah.
Serving your mama.
Yep. That was the first one I on the list.
Yeah, that's the most important one, right?
Yeah. And what are you doing today?
What am I doing today?
What are you all doing right now?
Serving you.
We're studying.
Studying, yeah, it's a big one. So practice of compassion, being happy, those are all practices. And the morning lull and the ever popular couch potato contemplation, those are all practices too. But what about work? What about when you're at work? Is that a time that you can be off duty from your spiritual practice?
Practice patience.
Say it again?
Practice patience.
Yeah, yeah,
Practice.
absolutely.
Practice making everything you do
hmm
an offering.
Right, right.
Be
Dedicating.
mindful.
So we as bodhisattvas, we need to practice all day long, right? And the work world generally gives us many, many opportunities to practice, whether we like it or not. But this joyful effort, this, if we practice this, then we will like it. We'll see all of the irritating people as wish-giving jewels, and basically in our minds, thank them for helping us practice. So there's lots of challenges and irritations just being with other people. And to be kind of with other people, a lot of people have work situations where they wouldn't necessarily be around the people that they are around, except for the fact of work. So, you choose your friends, you choose what family to be around, and work is different. You're just with people that you're assigned to be around, basically. So so we need to practice. How many hours a day do we need to practice?
24.
Yeah.
What did you say?
24.
Eventually, I've been told we can practice through our dreams, even. I'm not up to that, but I do hope that I will be able to do that someday. So, because we sleep, say, about 8 hours a night, and that's precious time that we could be practicing. So, it's a very advanced practice that I don't know a lot about, but I do know it exists. So joyful effort, joy in doing good. Lamaji tells us that we should chillax, okay, and get enough rest. So how can we be practicing so hard? If we need to practice so much, how can we relax and sleep? He instructs us to do it with virya, with joyful effort, to do relax, and do it with purposefully, and with virya. So he recommends that we go to bed around 10 or so, depending on what your schedule is. But being a night owl is not necessarily the most conducive thing for a practice, because practice in the early morning is quite beautiful and quite good. But, everybody does have to find their own way, depending on the circumstances in their life. But Lamaji recommends go to bed at 10 and set the alarm for 6 or 7, and know that this is part of your practice, that you're going to get up early. And if you can habituate to wake up without an alarm clock, that's all the better. So I know some people can do that and some can't, not yet. So what you want to do is do it really well. Get there to bed at 10 and do it full on, do it joyfully, and dedicate it. Dedicate that that this is part of your practice and that you're offering it up to whatever it is you choose to dedicate it to, whether it's to following the wish for enlightenment for all sentient beings, or if it's towards your own enlightenment, or towards someone who's not well, or somebody who just generally needs help. So he recommends that we take a break with no guilt, and do it with joyful effort, because that's the perfection that influences all other perfections. So we need to give, be ethical, and be patient, and meditate and gather wisdom joyfully. It's the powerhouse. So do all the perfections, practice the perfections purposefully and well and completely. That's the effort part, to do so completely. And again, dedicate. And I can't emphasize dedication enough, because it makes the merit that you gather more powerful. And because we want to get happy. We want to be happy. We want to practice happily. And Buddhas are happy. They have no more mental afflictions. And so they're completely happy. So we are, through the Bodhisattva practice, we're creeping towards Buddhahood. And to power that up, joyful effort is the way. So we creep along, hopefully at a little bit higher speed, faster pace, shanai shanai, little by little, slowly, slowly. And this is the Mahayana way. If you're on the Hinayana path, your aim is nirvana, which is arhathood. So, as opposed, I know I used the word arhat earlier when I meant to say Arya, and that's the difference between arhats and Aryas.